Good morning, folks. Get your coffee ready. The Bald Guy Show starts in 30 seconds. What is up, everybody? This episode is brought to you by Warrior Law. Guys, if you live in South Florida and you got involved in a car accident, do not fight the insurance companies by yourself. They will try and do a number on you. You got to reach out to my boy, Kevin Guerrero. Not only is he one of my best friends, he is an amazing attorney, and he will fight tooth and nail for you, right? All his information will be in the description below. My guest today for episode 33 is a returning guest, my first returning guest. So we could finish our conversation. The Royal Hawaiian, the original glow girl, April Hom. What's up, girl? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Aloha, aloha.
Aloha, aloha. A little bit, not aloha, not sunny Cal right now, but it's okay. No complaints. It's not cold.
It's ugly over there? Is it ugly over there?
No, it's just a little overcast.
Really? We're gonna get like that here in Texas in a couple days. We're expecting to get pretty nasty Wednesday and Thursday, and then a mini cold front. Mini cold front is only gonna get down to 60 or 70. I love cold. I love the cold. I love the cold.
I don't like the cold. I need beach weather. Ideal 70 to 85 is good. If it gets hotter, I'm inland in California, so I'm not by the beach anymore. I used to live at the beach, but so it can get up to 117 where I am in the summertime, and it's not.
That's how it gets. That's how it gets for us. Well, it gets to about 100, 103, but it feels like 120.
Yeah, so it's
not fun for us. So, but that's only 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
and you will think I'd hate the cold because we're originally from Florida. We've only been here 2 years. My daughter stayed in Florida because she loves the beach and she loves the warm weather. She doesn't like the cold, so she stayed in Florida. We're praying that she changes her mind, and because I miss my girl. I miss my daughter. Yeah. That's my oldest, but. Let's not talk too much about it. I'm gonna get teary-eyed.
I'll get emotional. Okay.
I do. I'm a big wuss. I'm a big crybaby, and that's my wife. That's
Daddy's
my wife.
girls,
yeah.
Huh?
yeah. I wish my boys would have stayed behind. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we got 3 kids. We got my 27-year-old daughter, 22-year-old son, and a 19-year-old son. Okay. My sons came with us, but my daughter stayed. So. What can we do? Huh? She's an adult.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you never know. You gotta let them go, and they come back when they're ready to, or whatever their life brings to them, or where it leads them.
Yeah. So we left off. You gave me so much information the first time we spoke. Oh my God, we spoke you gave me so much information about how. What blew me away was the story about Ursula, and how she took over the company and the name, and she took over the name, and when you started telling me about the Netflix show and what happened with Ursula and the owner, and that blew me away. But I want to talk about the championship. Why was it not a belt? Why was it a crown? Came up at it. What was the idea behind all that?
Everybody asks that because just traditionally the wrestling belts were the thing, right? And so I guess David McLean thinking, it was a new thing. It was all women. There wasn't anything like it. So I think maybe just to be a little different, right? To make us feel like a queen, and you won the championship, and instead of the belt, we got the crown, which was a
with
novelty,
flowers,
right?
and I remember the flowers.
And the flowers,
I
the
remember
roses,
the crown with
roses.
flowers.
Yes,
yeah,
it was that. So kind of like in the beauty queen, and like I said, all the things that I did before Glow helped, right, for me to get ready for all of this. As we did, right? I got to wear a crown. We got the roses, kind of like the same way it was when I did beauty pageants. So it was kind of a fun little thing. But today people do ask and they say, but don't you feel kind of robbed that you didn't have a belt? And yeah, kind of, because it would be kind of cool, right? So there have been, like Hollywood, for example, did make some belts. Even though she wasn't a champion, she was never a Glow champion, but she did make some belts and was selling some. And then I believe she raffled one. And people always ask, well, are you going to do anything? And actually, I do have something that's in the works that I'm going to do, not for me personally, but for a fan type thing. It's kind of a fun thing. And then they said, well, why don't you do a belt too? Because since you were a champion, that could be part of the legacy, that you could display that and what have you. And it just be like something that maybe those that were champions would want one, right? And that would be something we could do. I mean, even though we didn't get it when the show was on, but I think it was just him trying to be different, I guess, you know? But even now, like with him and WoW, they do get belts, right? So they win a belt, the championship belt, when the ones that are,
and I get it, because back then it was a crown. You were still called champion, right?
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, am I wrong or am I right? You were the longest reigning champion, weren't you?
I was until Daisy. So the first champion, we had to start somewhere, right? So on the pilot episode, which was the first episode, it was Matilda the Hun against Tammy Jones. And of course, Tammy Jones won, and there was the backstory with the brother sick and all that. So it was kind of, I don't know if it was realistic, because you're looking at the awesome Matilda the Hun, right? 6'3", 6'4", however big she was, and she was amazing, right? And I have to say, because I got to work with her, and we were the bad girls and all that, so that was where it started. So Tammy Jones was the first Glow champion, right? So then when we went and I had my match for the crown, it was me against the champion Tammy Jones. And so I was the first heel to hold the crown. And then I never even knew there was such a thing, but there is actually a spreadsheet on Google that follows who won the crown first, who had it the longest and all that. So I didn't even know that until a fan had said, did you know that you're the longest reigning crown holder for Glow? And then I was like, no, I really didn't. And then until into season 3 and 4, the last reigning champion was Daisy. So she, I believe, is the one who now held the crown the longest. And she's my buddy. I love her dearly. She's my bestie.
Yeah.
So
I looked up the history also, and that's where I found out that, wow, she was the longest. I wanted to see how many people have been champions, and I saw it. Wow, she held it a long time.
Yeah.
And that I know in the wrestling world, that's an honor. That's an honor to be considered.
Funny, the thing that's funny is even though I only wrestled for like a season and a half, like not all the way to season 2, but that's what I did. So the whole season, most of my matches I won. So that's that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, you were and when you're the champion, I know that when they hold you as champion, you're pretty much the face of the company.
Well,
and I don't know if that's how I don't know if that was the case for Glow, but I know that's how it is for like WWE.
Depending on which girls you ask.
Well, hey, and as a fan, you're champion. They want you to run with the. You're pretty much the face of the.
Thank you. That's a compliment.
Yeah,
I do.
It is.
I do have fans that would agree with you.
I mean, that's
the way.
To
toot my own horn, but
we'll toot it for you. It's all right. Listen, I mean, and I don't know. I mean, it's. I think a belt would have been better, but then again, that's me. I'm picturing a pink belt You know,
Yeah.
with the glow on it. I don't know.
I might do a belt. So we'll see. At some point, I think.
If you need somebody to help you create it, one of my oldest and closest and dearest friends does championship belts.
Oh wow! Okay,
for different organizations. Okay, so I'll put your contact with him.
Okay,
right?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Right. What different organizations or circuits, are you a part of, or have you been a part of?
Well, as far as any other promotions, as far as me being involved, as far as from the wrestling standpoint, was just Glow. And then, of course, with David McLean and WOW, we pretty much just piggybacked and supported all the Glow, or all the WOW girls. And so at the beginning, when they were on Access TV, and then they moved to KCAL 9, which was, now they're in the second season, getting ready for the third season. Myself and quite a few Glow girls at the beginning, I kind of got a few of the Glow girls together with some fans, and we go and support them. And so he would announce that, we got some original Glow girls in the house, and so it would be lots of fun. And some of the Glow fans are real dedicated WOW fans now. So they go regularly to the tapings and love to be in the audience and all that. So really it's just Glow, but then we have also UWW, and that's based out of Vegas, but they're, kind of traveling now all over. So they came here to LA a couple times. Now they went to Florida. I know there's something else coming up, and I'm not sure where. They kind of just give the teaser, like get ready for where we're going to be next kind of thing. And then I just pretty much work with all the local indie, like this weekend I was at Future of Women Wrestling. This is Manny's promotion here in LA, and it's an all women's promotion as well. It was an amazing show on Saturday night. It was, Delilah Bloom, Zyra was the main event with Sexy Star from Mexico, CMLL and AAA. Oh my God, she was amazing. But all the girls that were there this weekend, Savannah Stone and Brittany Brooks, and let's see who else. I mean, this is the bad part. I just have such a bad memory. Delilah Bloom, Maserati, and Black Swan. So it was a great show. Great show. It was amazing. That was Saturday night. And so I do a lot with him. And then we have United Wrestling Council, which is my other, by coincidence, Manny. He's the promoter. Then last night was East Los Lucha, which is in East LA. And that's my friend Ricardo Nunez. And then on Wednesday this week, we're going to be at Santino Brothers. And that's Joey Munoz and Sylvia. And he was Chaos back in the day. I don't know if you remember seeing him, but he's been around. I remember Chaos. Yeah, Joey. And so they have, this is going to be their first Santino Sisters show, where it's women at war. So it's all the girls. We got Ruby Reyes and again Delilah Doom, Katie Forbes, Auntie Heidi. The list goes on and on. But this one, I think I don't even know how many matches, maybe 10. I mean, it's like a big match, a big card, and it's going to be a good one. So I encourage everybody that wants to check out an all women's show that this one is going to be really good, really good. You
know what's amazing? What's amazing is that I remember years ago, I forgot who it was. I think it was either, you remember, obviously Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Of course.
The late great Bobby the Great Brain Heenan, one of the greatest managers, one of the greatest characters in the history of wrestling.
Yep.
He said years ago, wrestling is on the way out. Wrestling is on the way out. But look at this. You just mentioned, and just in women, you mentioned a whole bunch of, and the NWA alone. The NWA was here in Forney, Texas, a few minutes away, which I regret not going to that show. I was planning on going, but I some stuff came up. I couldn't go. But they had the Jim Crockett Memorial Cup here in Forney, Texas, just a few minutes away from my house.
I just read an article, or what did I read about him? I just read something about him today.
About Bobby the Brain Heenan?
No, about Crockett.
Crockett?
I don't remember what it was, yeah.
It's probably about that. It's probably about the Jim Crockett Memorial. Because they're taking it somewhere else. But it's amazing. The NWA is making its way back, and they're talking about something about going back to the territories.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
things growing. Are always changing, and I can't see that. Well, didn't really happen what he said, because to me, I think it's the biggest thing going on right now. But I just pulled up, so at that show that's coming up on Wednesday, that's May 22nd. So Sage Sin Supreme will be there. Delilah Doom, Katie Forbes, Heather Monroe, Crystal Clark, my buddy Jezebel Romo. That's Sylvia. That's Joey's wife. And she does the Lucha Girls, but she's actually going to do a match that night. Then we got Ruby Reyes, Jada Stone, Simone Williams. So we got the Princess Aussie from WoW. That's her. Auntie Heidi, Sarah Rebel. She's also a past WoW girl. Savannah Stone. She was at the show on Saturday. And let me tell you, this girl is wicked. She is so bad. She is a bad girl. And it was so funny because I told her afterwards, man, all the stuff you did, you reminded me so much of myself. I was like, because she was throwing the bird and cheating and pulling hair and doing all the stuff that I used to do, right? So it was kind of like a flashback. And I said, gosh, I was really a bad girl. Jen Savani, Mariah Marino, Lois Grain, that's another one of my buddies. Nina, and was that everybody? It's a big card. So there's a lot of girls. So that's why I'm telling everybody, better get out. If you want to come out, support the women. And, unfortunately, my buddy, Juan, who is my assistant, he is a women's wrestling fanatic. Doesn't care for the men, Juan Hernandez, but this is a show he should be at. Unfortunately, he's working. So it's like, oh, bummer, he's going to miss it. But yeah, this one is the show to go to. If you didn't catch Saturdays, then you better get to this one on Saturday. Oh no, this one's Wednesday. Sorry. So we're gonna miss it. Actually, shoot, I shouldn't have said that, huh?
Well, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, by the time the show airs, it already happened. But it's okay. I will be.
That's right. It'll be over.
But it doesn't matter. I will be.
It's okay.
I saw it on your story.
Yeah,
I saw it on your story.
It's still just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. So I saw on your story, so I'm going to reshare it as well. We are. It's okay. No problem. We'll continue.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great show coming up. Okay.
So what about after that? After next Saturday, where are the shows are going to be coming up? After today,
so Saturday, so this Saturday, this will be the 25th of May. So Saturday this week will be 3PWA. I'll be with Tony Reyes and the guys in Corona. We'll be at the UFC gym. D'Lo Brown will be there.
D'Lo
and
Brown.
There's going to be a couple other WWF guys, but I just can't remember who they are. D'Lo Brown's going to be there. Yeah, I've done a few shows with him. He's a cool dude. Yeah, real great guy. And then Lois Grain will be there. And I'm not sure who she's wrestling, but that should be another good one too. So that's Saturday, the 25th of May. And then after that, I believe I just heard there's going to be another show in my neighborhood with Robbie Phoenix and in Baldwin Park. And I'm not sure what promotion that's with, but he's one of the guys that I get to see a lot at a lot of the shows. And then going into June, I'm doing a 3-day festival.
Let me ask you something. You mentioned D'Lo Brown.
The festival is going to be June. Yeah.
We are super delayed.
I missed it.
You mentioned D'Lo Brown, and I remember D'Lo Brown started with New Jack. You remember New Jack?
Yes.
New Jack and Mufasa. What are your thoughts on how New Jack used to be?
A lot of them back in the day, I only knew of them and had heard, but I've known D'Lo more so in current day. So I don't really have you know, a lot of knowledge of how they were in when they were actually active in wrestling and stuff. No, I've only worked with him in the what I call my afterglow days.
Right,
You know,
right.
I've heard of them, but I don't really have any memories of watching them. I really, back in the day, I didn't watch a lot of, you know, the guy wrestling until later on. You know, so most of my was during, like, you know, the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Dino Bravo, Jake the Snake, Greg the Hammer Valentine, you know, Godfather, Rikishi back in those days. So there were some that you know, I do remember, you know, but I wasn't into all the wrestling back then. I kind of took, after I left Glow, I kind of took a hiatus because I really just left the industry completely. And I really didn't even kind of dabble at all until later on, you know, when we started doing appearances and stuff again. And then we started doing radio shows, and then it led to interviews, and then it led to podcasts, right? So once I started doing more interviews, that's when I got more interested in the wrestling, because I did not like knowing what they were talking about, you know. So I go to Vegas and with Thoughts Count Anywhere with Aaron Phillips and the guys in Vegas, there's always a panel of at least 4 guys, you know, and then guests. And I've been on their show several times. And I don't like not knowing, like, what's the current situation? What's the storyline? Who's going after the belt? You know, who's up against who? And so I wanted to, you know, to know. I wanted to be up to date on everything. And that's when my buddy Sam became like I used to call him my East Coast correspondent, because he would chime in and send me all the updates on who was coming up, or who was on Raw, who was on SmackDown, and what was happening during the weekend shows, you know. And so I think more in the recent days is when I got really a lot more involved and you know, kept up to date on everything. Plus going to the pay-per-views is always fun now. We used to get to go to the movie theaters to watch them.
I remember that in the short circuit shows. What so you do keep up with the WWE then, right?
I do.
So what are your thoughts on
so
what are your thoughts on the purchase on what are your thoughts on them selling that now there's no for the first time in the history of the WWE, there's no McMahon as in the helm of ownership. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm really happy about that, because I never liked the guy. So I think Triple H is doing a good job, you know.
Yeah, he is.
You know, Vince has now got a whole new ball of wax that he's got to deal with, you know. So I think just kind of sit and wait and see where it all unfolds and what comes out of all the stuff going on. I was looking for my book. I wanted to show you my book. Let me see. I think I'm going to get up because I want to show you. I think it's over here. Darn it. I thought I was going to be prepared, but just because we talked about it, I wanted to find it, and of course I can't. I thought it's usually right here because I'm trying to read it, but it's my buddy Josie Abrahams, and she's a writer that wrote a book about Vince. I think I told you about it, didn't I?
Really? Mm-hmm.
Last time?
Yeah, I mentioned it to me, yes.
Yeah. I did, but you know what? I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, but I did find this one. This is Matilda the Hun.
Yeah.
Glamazon, Queen Kong. Matilda the Hun. It's My Life of Glitter, Guts, and Glory. by Deanna Booher. That's our Matilda. And that's the one thing we are having that I don't think I was able to share last time is Roxy Astor and Robert Wynn, who Robert Wynn is one of our Glow historians. They're doing a docu-play in July 27th, 28th, 29th in Hollywood or LA, the Zephyr Theater. So for anybody that's watching and wants to go, tickets are on sale now to come on out. It's going to be a live stage play, just a docu play. They're going to tell you about her life story and everything like that. So that's one of the upcoming Glow events that is coming on. I don't know what I did with that book. That really irritates me.
Oh, but that's very cool. So they're going to do a wow. So they're really honoring.
But Vince, going back to Vince. Yes, she was one of our icons, legend. You know, she was doing wrestling before she did Glow, but she was one of our big icons. You know, between her and Mount Fiji, right?
Yep.
But so that should be really neat. And
Matilda the Hun, Matilda the Hun was very scary to us kids. we were scared of her as us kids, but she was awesome. She was awesome.
Always doing her snarl, you know. Yeah. So Roxy will have all her memorabilia and all her, her belt and her boots and, all the stuff that she left. She inherited all her stuff when Matilda passed away. So, so we'll get to share all that and, tell some stories about her and let people know what her life was about and just a tribute to, to her. And we just had her anniversary just a couple months ago. So, so it's fun. But so Vince, you could read that story. Actually, Abraham, it's under, I think it's Josie Abraham. Let me see. And you could read, it's a story about Vince McMahon. And there's two people I'm not real fond of. One is him. I just never liked him because back in the day, when we were in Vegas and Glow just came out, I think I told you, I think the last time is that he never liked us because we were getting more airtime, right? The Glow girls were popular. And so he would tell all the guys, oh, don't be talking to those Glow girls. Don't let me catch you. And heck, man, the Bushwhackers, we would go out with them and just whoever was in town, So the book is actually, she goes by Abraham Josephine Reisman, great author. And so you can check her out on Instagram or Facebook. And let me see if I could find the cover of her book. But it's a read. So it just actually went out on paperback.
Okay.
So it was hardback originally. And then, of course, she just recently had it run, and she was on the New York bestseller. And it's called Ringmaster Vince McMahon and the Unmaking of America. So I don't know if you can see it, but that's what
I can see it. Yeah.
So, you guys can look it up on Amazon. You can probably buy it on Amazon, but take a look, Abraham Josephine Reisman. And so really, really good. I haven't finished everything, but so maybe that's where it is. I'm trying to think of what I did with it. It's here somewhere, but with that problem I told you about last night, I kind of had to move things around to make sure I didn't get water damage on anything. But that's so he's, controversy and, got to just wait and see what happens and what comes out and, all the trial.
Yeah. That's,
I know a lot of
kind of scum.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a nice word. You said it, not me.
Yeah.
But it is.
I've there's always been something. Well, ever since he became when he became Mr. McMahon, more stuff started coming out. Like the whole thing with the steroids and the stuff that happened with Owen Hart, the death of Benoit, Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
What happened with Chris Benoit was tragic. It's true. Many people say it's unforgivable what he did, but it had to do with steroids. It had to
Yeah.
do with steroids, and Vince McMahon, in my opinion, should be held accountable for that. You know, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. You know,
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And so he's not one of my favorite. I mean, my two, I would say, because people always ask, is there anybody you don't like in wrestling or WWE? He'd be one of them, probably my top guy. And then the next one would be Ric Flair.
Really?
He's
you don't like Ric
my
Flair?
favorite guy.
Well,
No,
as a person, I hear he's scum.
I never did.
I think he's probably the greatest wrestler of all time.
Recently saw a clip.
Mm.
Okay, I won't take that away from him. I just don't like his style, his persona, him as a person. So this was something. And see, for me, when you're out in public somewhere, to me that means a lot. And so this was just typical, like how I always remember him. But it was a clip of him at a restaurant, like a diner kind of place, and he was being really rude to the help. So like the waitress, and then the bartender, and then the manager, and kind of a little bit of kind of racially things. He goes, well, aren't you Egyptian or something like that, you know? And then he was getting really nasty and mean. And so no pun intended with Matilda's song, Nasty and Mean. Anyway, he kept saying to the waitress, oh, give yourself $1,000 tip. Give yourself $1,000 tip. And she kept saying, no, thank you, sir. No, thank you, sir. And he was just really belligerent guy. And then the manager was trying to calm him down and everything. And then finally, a patron, you know, a customer sitting a couple down on the counter, you know, he finally chimed in and was like, you know, probably didn't even know who he was, but it was like, it took that long for someone to speak up, you know? And then I thought, good for that guy. He finally stood up and, you know, told him something. And then he said, just put $1,000 tip. Like that's supposed to make everything go away, right? And the girl kept saying, no, no, no. But then at the end, she did put it. And I said, good for you, because you know what? This guy started a hassle with you. You had to call the bartender, you know, stood up for her. And then they had to call the manager. And he was just an ASS, you know. And I don't know. He's never really impressed me. I'm not going to say that he wasn't a great wrestler, but I like his daughter much more than I like him. Put it that way. I think she's amazing. I know. So
yeah, she's I've heard good things about her.
He laughed.
Your buddy Juan what?
Well, yeah, no, my buddy Juan just laughs at anything to do with Ric Flair. Oh. That's our go-to laugh. We could laugh till our stomachs are sore with that guy. But I'm always impressed with Charlotte because during the cage match, when she jumped from the top, that was amazing. Did that flip, landed and came down from the cage mat. That's why these girls, I say, they're crazy doing the stuff they did. And then even the girls like this weekend, I told them, man, there's no way I would do half the stuff you guys are doing. They're like, why, you used to do it? I said, not like that. I mean, these girls are getting kicked in the face and punched in the face and, you know, slaps and chops. And it was amazing. So, I mean, I can't say too much about Sexy Star and Zyra. Zyra just kicked butt too. Both of them were just one after the other and just, you know, and it was great. So I got good video. I haven't even posted it yet because I've just been so busy. So I did say I was going to try and post it tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm all for, like I said, going back to the women. I just can't say enough, but they're amazing. Delilah Doom. I always want to call her Delilah Boom. Delilah Bloom. She's the one that she does the pulse. She's like the Richard Simmons workout girl, you know, and she just is, and she's a little thing too. Like she comes to here on me or whatever, but she's just amazing too. And she wrestles the guys and holds her own and just dishes it out, right? They give it to her and she gives it right back. And I'll see her on Wednesday too, but I saw her on Saturday and last night. So I got to see her 2 times in one weekend. And I just love it. You know, I love going and watching them. And and seen what's, you know, what's up and what's the newest thing they're doing and what have you. But they really, really are impressive, you know, really more so than I would have ever thought. And they just keep getting better and better, you know. So I'm looking forward to Wednesday. Wednesday should be a great show.
Now, let me ask you this, because now I see that you support them. Have you ever, you're not planning on being part of the shows, or besides being there, are you looking to be into management? I thought you were being, I thought you
Other
were.
than the meeting, I go, well, someone did offer me last year. They asked if I would do my own promotion, and I worked for 6 months. So this past Saturday, this weekend was my first. Yeah, this weekend was my first day back to working at a live show. So I did the meet and greet on Saturday. Was the first meet and greet. I had been to a show or two. Like I said, last time I think I told you, my nephew AJ, the Samoan shooter, he asked me the day before his match, Auntie, could you get some of your gang to come to our show, because it's being filmed on TV and everything. So I had been to a couple shows just as a guest and to go watch. But this Saturday was the first day that I actually did a meet and greet, brought all my merch, signed, you know, set up and did a signing and appearance and sign autographs, take pictures, sell merch. So this is my new t-shirt. So I'll show you. So that's my new t-shirt.
Nice.
So this is done by Frankster Rules. So currently the colorful shirt that he did for me. So these are currently out, and I brought them out this weekend. So yeah, I got a lot of those sold, and that's exciting. And so yeah, so I got some new merch, new photos and stuff. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. Now, last year I did have somebody proposition and present something to me and said, would you ever think of doing your own promotion? And I said, well, like, what do you mean? Like, you want me to, like, it'd be, I don't know, island wrestlings or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But and I said, well, like what? Like an all women's, or just a promotion and do both men and women wrestling and what? And they said, well, whatever you would want, but you don't have to do anything. We'll fund it. You know, we will be the financial backers, and you just put your name out and you be in charge of the talent. We'll take care of all the details. You just book the matches and get the people on, which that would be great, right? Because I do that now, right? Promoters call me and ask me, hey, I need 2 girls, or I need who might be available. I got a show coming up, blah, 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 blah. Or I got for Washington, they called and said, hey, you know that show we were talking about last year, it's here now. So are you able to come? And I said, sure. And then I was talking to someone else, and then they said, oh yeah, we were thinking we talked to them too. So I got them to possibly book my buddy and a couple of the local indie guys from here. So I network, you know, and I see what promoters doing what, and if they need help or they're looking for, you know, some new wrestlers or someone for a show that's coming up or whatever. So then people they do ask. They say, well, have you ever thought of doing anything else? Then I had somebody else ask me, well, what about if you just do a show? How about you host a show for us? And so I told them I would. I said I would think about that. And they're saying just do a show that you would be in charge of the whole show. Whatever you want wrestling, you'd be in charge of hiring and booking all the talent, and however you want to run it. It doesn't have to be the same that our normal promotion does, whatever ideas you want. So that's kind of still in the works too. So a couple of things coming up, because since I talked to you last, I had a couple other projects presented to me too. So I'm involved in that. So can't share too much, but I have been talking about my autobiography, and that I've been, you know, I have my DVD in the works, and that was something that I've been working on. It was supposed to be out at the end of last year, but I got sick, so it all came to a halt. But my goal originally had always been to try and get a 4-season box series of Glow. There isn't anything. You can't get anything even right now.
No, you can't.
You can't get DVD, Blu-ray, nothing. Since Ursula passed in December, there's nobody else that picked up, like her daughter daughter, I believe, is her, I think it's her sole heir, but I don't know that she's currently doing anything. I stumbled across a guy who is selling like 35 different glow items and is making money off of us and has no affiliation to us whatsoever. But it's kind of hard to do a cease and desist and have them stop doing that when there's really nobody kind of taking her role when she owned the name Glow. But I've talked to Matt Simber directly and Tony Simber, his son, and I've been chasing them for 10 years now and saying, come on, what's up? I mean, you're not going to do anything with all the films. Let's do something. Our fans are, they're wanting something tangible, right? Tangible in hand.
Yeah.
They want this. They want a DVD. So I'll just give you a preview. This is the Royal Hawaiian DVD 2-box set.
I love it.
Okay. It's in the works. The DVDs are even made. The important part of what I had been working on is this is a tribute to the Glow legacy, and nobody else wanted to do it. They didn't want to release. I had a financial backer that was going to pay to convert all the films to digital so that I could do this. And Matt Simber and Tony Simber wouldn't have had to pay anything, but I needed to get them to release it, but they didn't want to. And I've been asking every time I have an opportunity to talk or see them at an event or a function or whatever. But no, but I don't know why, because it's coming on 38 years and they haven't done anything with them. So why not? I said,
and you said, you said it. The fans are asking. The fans are wanting it. The fans are asking for it.
Well, this I'm doing so nobody can tell me. So someone said that's what they want, right? I even took a poll and I said, okay, you guys, do you want this? Let me show you what this was. I got kind of things all over here, but I'm just digging into my purse because I kind of took a personal poll and I asked several of my fans, do you want this? Like, okay, they want something. This is a DVD box, the jewel case. Do you want something like this? Something in your hand? Do you want this? Right? This is a DVD. This is this holds 10 DVDs in each one. So my DVD at this point is about 18 DVDs, 2-hour DVDs. The one DVD that Ursula had online was, I want to say it was the 20th or the 25th anniversary, $64.99 for a 2-hour DVD. This is 18. Now this is my season because that's what I have. I was trying to get all 4 seasons for the fans, but I can't get it because they won't release it just to let me work on it, right?
What a shame.
So I said, then I'm just going to do this. Who's going to stop me? I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this for my fans, Royal Hawaiian Nation and Glow fans that want something, right? So I asked the close fans that I could ask, I said, do you want DVD like this? DVD like this? Or do you want DVD like this on a flash drive? This is my flash drive. Thank you, Juan. So Juan finds me all kind of cool pineapple things, right? This is my flash drive. Wait, let me see. How do I? It's a little pineapple.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, it is. So
he found this. This is my flash drive. So all my important Glow things. So I said, do the fans want this little thing with maybe, an 8x10 picture or a 5x7 picture in a little package? And then this is how I'm going to market it and sell it? Or do you want this? They said they wanted this. So this is what I did. Now, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to do. I did say that I was only going to do 100 of them. And when they're gone, they're gone. And if they're still in need and people are still saying, hey, how do I get one of those? I could make more because guess what? I did all this myself. I sat right here where I'm sitting on my couch right here and burned the DVDs. So if someone wants to sue me, so come on out, guys. Who's going to sue me? And if you want to sue me, what you going to sue me for? I don't own a house. I barely got a car. So bring it on. I said, so on the back, So on the back, and so I have Robert Wynn, one of our glow historians, helping me. I've got Frankster Rules, who does all my, all my artwork, and I wanted a t-shirt, right? So he did that. He did my covers, right? So on the back it says, "This disc set is not endorsed or affiliated with Glow or the estate of Ursula Hayden, but for the fans of Glow and Pineapple Nation to enjoy and relive the golden age of women's wrestling and the generations who were too young and future generations to enjoy." I'm not making money off of this. I'm selling it for the cost of what it's costing me to make it, the supplies, and for love for the fans. This is what they are. So right now, the only DVD that's missing still out of the box is the one that I need to make, which is Afterglow. So Roxy Astor coined and trademarked Afterglow. So anything we did Afterglow, we say Afterglow. So I'm making one that tells my story Afterglow. Some of the Glow girls that would like to, I'm still opening it up to letting them share their part. And then I have clips from the fans, because I'm including them in. This is a project and the legacy of Glow, but a project for the fans that I've taken and I've invited. And I said, anybody that would like to send me a 2-minute recorded, little blurb on what Glow meant to you. Tell me a little bit about who your favorite Glow wrestlers were, or a story that you might have. And I'm putting those together in like a montage. That CD will be dedicated to the Glow fans, right? And
that's awesome.
And that will basically complete it if I can get it. Yeah. So I'm hoping that, because I found somebody else that's working with me to help complete and finish the work that needs to be done, because last year during the summertime I had somebody else working with me on it, and they dropped the ball, and that's where it fell. And when I got sick, I just couldn't do it on my own, and I just was too sick to continue, and that's why it came to a halt. It was supposed to be done by November so that people could buy it for Christmas gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
So it didn't. So it's back on as a project. I'm working on it, and I got someone else helping. So along with that, I've been talking about my autobiography, and I want to do a second documentary. So that's what I'm currently working on another, probably a start date or finish date or anything, but it's in the writing stages at this point and gathering. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm all into preserving this. I'm not out for what I can get for April. I mean, all the Glow girls can do whatever they want. They can, work. They can. Everybody that is, ready and able and wants to be involved can be involved. I try to include. I do have a show coming up. Okay, so let's see. Washington. I go up to Washington. August 3rd is the Special Olympics event up there with Nathan Nas and Anthony Wagner. I got the name wrong earlier because I just am so. Anyway, they are doing this event that I'm going up to Washington for on August 3rd. Then August, I believe it's the 19th, 20th, and 21st is the Cauliflower Alley Convention in Las Vegas. And that one, David McLean is getting an award for the Carl Lawler Independent Promotion Award. It's the first inaugural award. So David McLean is receiving that. So we're trying to gather some Glow girls to go up and be available when he gets, inducted or receives his award. And nice. Sting is getting an award too. So he just retired, right? So that was an amazing show.
My favorite wrestler of all time is Sting.
That will be a great one to be at. Hey, amazing guy, right? Just amazing. And so that's August. And then in, let's see, September 14th with Scott Hosey in Vegas. So I'll be going back to Vegas. And this one, last year I did a show and I was supposed to have a few Glow girls, and we had that horrible storm in February. And so it was just myself because everybody got stuck behind the storm. So September 14th, I am working on an event in Vegas and trying to get, right now I've contacted Ninuchka, which I have talked to, and she's in. So I'm hoping that that stays as is. So she was in with me the last time, and then stuff had come up. So she's a fan favorite. So, you know, I wish I could get her to more things, but she's a busy gal. Anyway, so maybe Roxy Astor, maybe Jungle Woman. I talked to Palestina. I haven't gotten answers yet.
Palestina. I remember Palestina.
Send a message to Susie. Yeah, yes. Susie Spirit. So some of the Vegas girls, because it's in Vegas, so I figure that's easier to get to some of those girls that are there. But I also invited Daisy. So I'm always, you know, looking to invite, like, if there's someone that one of the girls that wants to, maybe hasn't been doing anything and would like to join us, you know, I'm trying to, you know, see what girls are available for the CAC to be available for David's award. And then if not, I'm going to be back in Vegas September 14th for this one. So kind of a little like mini reunion, kind of get a few girls together kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But there's some things in the works. And, you know, hopefully we'll get to talk about them a lot more soon once it gets a little bit closer to those dates. But yeah, it's just always good. And like I said, I haven't worked for 6 months. So this weekend was my first time out doing a meet and greet, and it was a good weekend. So I'm looking forward to Wednesday and Saturday. And then the 3-day weekend is down in Lake Elsinore here in California. And it's supposed to be like a community type event on the weekend. I think they're going to have rides and kids, you know, carnival games and vendors. And then Mr. James from Valley Wrestling Connection is his promotion, and he's going to be doing wrestling Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And from what I understand, Saturday he's going to have an all-women's show. So one show I think on Friday, three shows on Saturday, and then I don't know if it's 1 or 2 on Sunday, but a weekend of wrestling. So for those of you in the area, it would be something to get ready for, because I'm sure it's going to be a great weekend of wrestling. So yeah, so lots of stuff coming out.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wow, that's a lot. That's awesome. When are you coming to Dallas? When are you planning on any events here in Dallas?
I don't know. I have, as a matter of fact, I have a podcast. Let me see. When is it? I have a podcast with the Texas guys. And you know what? Let me see if I can pull up, because I forget where they live. You know what? I talk to so many people. It's like I say, you know, I recognize faces and I don't always remember names, especially if I haven't seen you for a long time. But I remember your face, and then I'll remember even events and things like that. But sometimes I don't always get the name. So I might get the first name and I mix it with someone else's last name. And so that's what I did on my live. I think it was either yesterday or Saturday. I said it was Nathan. I think I said Nathan Nuggs, which it's Nathan Nas. And what is Nuggs' first name? See, this is the thing. I got one guy's first name with his last name. And then so I kind of combined the two of them, right? So I was like, oh man, I screwed that one up, and I apologize. I said, sorry guys. I said, I know who you are, but you know what? I messed it up. And so these guys are in Texas, and when we talked, I always try and ask them, because I have relatives in Texas, like I told you. And so I always try and see, where are they in relation, as and just had posted a couple pictures and stuff like that. So I always try and relate to, well, where are they in those areas? Like if I know somebody or whatever. These guys are in Cannondale.
Does that sound familiar? Nope. Let me see how far away that is from me.
It says from Fort Worth. They grew up with the Von Erichs.
Wow. Yeah, the Von Erichs are originally from Denton. The Von Erichs are from Denton County.
Okay, well, he said
which is about 45 minutes to an hour away from me.
Denton County?
Denton County, yeah.
Oh, really? And so how far is that from Fort Worth? How far is that from Fort Worth?
From Fort Worth, I'm not sure, but from where I am, which I'm in Forney, which is Kaufman County, which is not far from Dallas County. It's about 45 minutes to an hour, no, about an hour
so
away.
Must not be too far then. Must not be
nope, it's not.
Then. Okay, so these guys. So I'm going to plug them a little bit. So Troy Pope and Marcus Jimenez, they're two guys that I'm doing another podcast with, and we have talked about trying to get to a promotion there to bring me in so I can come see you guys in the Texas area.
Nice.
But I'm not sure exactly like the area or what the promotion is. But I have family in Dallas, in Houston, in El Paso. I have friends in Midland, and so kind of all over. I've always wanted to go to San Antonio, which I've never been. I've been to Houston.
I've always wanted to go there too.
Dallas, but yeah. So I'm kind of wanting to go. So who knows? We'll see if I get there. But for sure, if I get there, we'll have to try and sync. Having a meet and greet or wherever I'm gonna be to do something. Yeah, for sure.
That'll be awesome. So. That'll be great. That'll be awesome.
But what else?
How much you miss? How much you miss being in the ring?
Else?
How much you miss being part of the action?
It's funny. It's funny you say that because the other day, it wasn't this weekend. It was one of the other shows that we were just at watching. But this weekend just were flashbacks because Savannah Stone just really, I just could relate to her through the whole match. I'm like, dang, that was like me. I was such a baddie. And, from, spitting, because she does a spit of, she spits in the girl's face. And, so that's what I used to do with the pineapple, right? And so it was just like kind of surreal that it's like, oh my God, like that's like kind of what I used to do. And, she was like throwing the bird and all of that. So I wasn't that kind of like really in there, but she's in their face and but she's mean and she's good, and that kind of just brought back memories. But I was at another show and I was just watching and it was the same thing. And sometimes when I'm with either AJ or when I was with Otto, being in the ring, because I do get in the ring, so even though I'm not wrestling, like I said, sometimes they'll throw the opponent outside the ring and I'm down on the bottom by the apron and I'll jump on them. And so like they're on the floor and I get on them, like I ride them like a horse, and I'll put them in a headlock. And if the pineapple is close by, I get the pineapple and I shove it in their face, so that's fun because I'm not physically in the ring taking bumps or anything, but I'm still involved in the action. Right? So that's just as fun, for
that's
me
awesome.
Anyway. And yeah, it's a lot of fun because then you have all the hecklers, right, all around you. And they're in your face, and so it's still lots of fun. And so everybody says, well, then why don't you just go back to managing someone? And so I did. I had a guy in Florida, as a matter of fact, contact me, and he said, would you consider being my manager? And I said, well, yeah, but I said, do you know where I am? I said, he goes, yeah, you're in Cali. And I said, yeah. I said, but I don't mind coming to Florida. I mean, heck, I'll go wherever you want me to go. I'll go. So this guy, but then we talked a little bit, but then he never got back to me. And, I should probably check back with him, but he was, I was trying to remember his character. He was not quite like an auto surfer, but maybe, I don't know what his gimmick or what his character was like, but he just said, I like your character from Glow that I know I seen you, manage with Otto and with AJ. So AJ is a Pacific Islander, so we mesh, and then Otto is the surfer dude, right? His is, just hang loose and, don't touch the clutch and cowabunga and, all of that. So it's like we got that, beach Hawaii vibe. We used to call ourselves the Pineapple Clutch Connection because he's Otto Von Clutch. And so we would call us the Pineapple Clutch Connection. So lots of things. So I'm incorporating them. So in something I'm doing, we're actually I'm going to possibly be bringing them in as some cohorts in what I've kind of got going on right now is I'm going to bring them into. Plus, I'm also working on a comic book too. So they'll be part of of the comic book too.
Really?
Just, you know, being the
like a Glow
kinda,
comic book
yeah,
or
kind of the
a
yeah,
Royal Hawaiian comic book?
yeah, a glow Royal Hawaiian comic book, but incorporating what I'm doing today. So I've
I
always
like
wanted
that.
to I always wanted to be a, P, a PI or a detective. So I'll just give you a little bit of that there's some, you know, suspenseful stuff in what we're working on. And yeah, so you know, the guy who's helping me just brought up Otto, and then I said, well, hell, if we're going to bring Otto, we might as well bring AJ. I said, those are the two guys that, you know, I've managed, and they kind of fit within what the theme is and what we're, you know, kind of going for. So yeah, the guy's real creative, and I'm real excited to work on. So a few different things kind of in the works right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's fun, exciting, and just, you know, lots going on. And, you know, hey, you know, like I say, my girlfriends always ask, why do you do it? And it's like, because you know what? It's not work when you love what you do, you know? And that's the
Yep.
conversation I had in the locker room with the girls this weekend and stuff. Just, you know, hey, if you're gonna do something, you might as well do something you love, and then it's not work. I had a recent conversation with Ruby Reyes. I'll be seeing her on Wednesday. And she's Reina Del Rey on WoW. So she's the chola. On her thing when she wrestles, it says chingona across here. And she's so funny. But she used to watch me on TV on Glow on Saturdays. And she says, I would watch you every Saturday. And she says, and you're one of the reasons why I became a wrestler. And so here we are.
Cool.
When I first started going to WoW and I saw her, she's like, oh my God. She says, how surreal is this that, you know, you're here now watching me and wanting to take pictures with me and get my autograph. That, you know, she's been wrestling now for 16 years. So we ran into each other a couple weekends ago in the bar. She posted something on her story or her page or a note, or where are you in Torrance? I said, I'm in Torrance. She goes, where are you? I said, where are you? So we ended up, I went to where she was at Brada's Bar and Grill, Hawaiian Bar and Grill. And so Juan and I went and met her. We hung out for a couple hours and just, you know, she had a couple drinks and we just a story. But she's just a cool girl. She's a surfer. You know, we talk surfing. She still surfs to today. She lives in Ventura and she hits the waves. And I always, you know, I'm living vicariously through her now because I get to watch her surf and she's hanging at the beach or working out in the gym. You know, she's a mean right now. She's a beast. And so, you know, we sat there and we're just visiting and you know, shooting the breeze, and she started getting emotional and she started crying. And she was crying and
Really?
she said, you know what? She says, I just have to tell you, she says, you know, you're the reason. Yeah, it was really touching, you know. And so she said, oh, she said, I used to watch you when I was little and I'd watch you every Saturday. And she says, you know, you're the reason I became a wrestler. And she says, I've had a 16-year career. And she says, what do you think I should do? She says, I'm thinking about retiring. She says, what do you think I should do? And I said, well, how do you feel? I said, you want, and she does not just wrestle, but she's part of the social media of WoW. She actually is part of the WoW, you know, company, because she does a lot of the social media stuff. So she's not just a wrestler. But I said, well, you're doing that. I said, have you thought of what other thing? There are so many things today. Unlike in Glow, I got hurt, I left. I never even thought I could go sit next to David McLean and be a commentator. I could be a manager. I could do interviews, you know, whatever. Today, I said, what do you want to do? Is there anything else that you've been, you know, in watching all, whether not just WoW, but WWE, NXT, you know, AEW, Impact? Is there some NWA? I mean, do you see anything? UWW, the women's, you know, promotions. Is there something else you want to do? You want to be a trainer? You want to, you know, I mean, you've got 16 years of experience. Find something. What is it that you think you would like to do, you know? And see, I've been an instructor for different things. I used to be a dance teacher. I used to be, you know, in my job at United Airlines, I was an instructor. I was a training instructor. So, you know, I mean, I sit in front of a classroom and I teach them the computer and sales philosophy and all those kinds of things. I said, turn up in the Pacific Northwest, asked me, could you do, like during COVID, we were going to do a online class. And they asked, would you consider doing a Zoom call like we are, but doing a character building and, mentorship and gimmicks. Like I always tell the girls, I go to all the shows and I go backstage. I talk to them before the shows. I see them during the shows and after the shows. And, they ask me questions, even the referees. I've had referees come up and say, hey, after the show, can I have a chat with you real quick? And I'm like, sure, and I think, what do they want to know? Hey, they just, as a past wrestler, right? They value your opinion or if you have a suggestion. So the one guy asked me, he says, how do you think I do? And I said, well, to be honest, I said, I like your style because you're not afraid to hit that mat. I want to hear 1, 2. There's one ref, and to be honest, I don't even know who it is, but they're like this. Like you can't even hear them. There's no big action. One of my favorite referees is Ref Amber. She refs for UWW. She refs for the promotions up in Vegas. She's great. She knows where to position herself. She's not afraid to slam her hand down, make some noise, and she's in the right place. And then I have another ref that I kind of have a bone to pick because the guy is never in the right place. Never. Like he's always in the way of the wrestlers and they're floating over and rolling on top of him. And that just irritates me. So this ref, he asked me, he says, what do you think? How do you think I do? I said, you know what? You're in the right place. So I know you're paying attention to the match and what's going on because you're never in their way, and so that's a good thing. Whereas when I go and I talk to the girls, some of the new ones, like they're just starting out or they got a good look, they got a good gimmick, they wrestle well, but they're missing something. So I say, but we don't know what could I do? I said, think, what is it that you're good at or what do you like? You got to make it you. If it's going to be part of your gimmick, what do you like? What do you like doing? Like for me, it was easy. Like when I got Royal Hawaiian, it just fell in my lap. Like living in Hawaii, dancing hula, all my experience with in and out, moving back and forth to Hawaii, how many times, living there for over 25 years, the whole 9 years, 25 years, it couldn't have been any perfect, right? So I said, and all the stuff I did, nobody from Glow told me what to do. That was all me. I developed everything you see me do on TV, whether it's crush the pineapple, slam someone. I built the little pineapple hut and wheeled it in. I made that thing myself.
Really?
Everything. So I tell these girls, you got to come up. Delilah Bloom. Here I go. Delilah Doom. She is just a carbon copy of Richard Simmons and aerobics from back in the 80s, right? She comes in with the music and she's dancing. She's got all the fitness gear and but she's got it down pat. They love her. They play the music and people go wild because they know she's coming, So you got to get a song. You got to, what's your gimmick? What are you going to do? You want to think about something. Here I am. Look, the emoji is the pineapple. I got a flower in my hair. Look, the little thing that he sees, and anybody that knows me, they say, I can't see a pineapple and not think about you. That works, right? Works for me.
Yep.
So I have people constantly sending me, I just showed you my pineapple, my Kinnish family, and they just, took me for my birthday, and I got all the things that I posted on my page that they took me out for the day, and I was loaded with pineapple. I dropped into pineapple heaven. These people just, Erica and Bobby just took me for the day, and I just had a ball, So I tell people, think of something that you're going to connect to, something that you think people would like, something that would be easy to market, something you could make a t-shirt, what is it that you want to do? And the one guy asked me, could you teach what you're telling me? Can you do this for an hour on a Zoom training class? Yeah. We talked about it during COVID, and so it never materialized because I think the problem was I think the funding for the promotion or whatever, but it's something that's still in the works, things that, I can teach a Zoom class on, mentoring women wrestlers, kids, even the guys. I mean, the guys talk to me all the time. You'd be surprised, They just say, oh, we just want to, because we like your character. We like what you do. We see what you do today. We want to do that. It's like, you can. You sure can. You got to come up with something, and you got to promote yourself,
That's awesome.
market yourself and do something like going back to Ruby.
Yeah, you answered one of my questions that I was going to
that?
ask you. That you answered one of my questions without me even asking about that. If you were thinking about training and all that stuff, and that's awesome that is in the works. I love that.
Yeah, and with Ruby, I kind of redirected it back to her, and I said, you're going to be the one that needs to decide. Do you want to retire? Maybe you want to retire from physically wrestling and being in the ring, but that doesn't mean you have to leave the industry. Mm-hmm. Tons of stuff you could do within the industry. Become a trainer, become a promoter, mm-hmm. become a manager. Do you want to do ringside interviews, commentating? So I did get to, I was an announcer at one show. I've done commentating at one show. So I, when you get offered, and I tell these girls, you got to just take the experience. If somebody offers something, you're in the right place at the right time. If you haven't done it, hey, that's your opportunity. Someone like my girlfriends tell me, why do you do it? I said, why not? I don't have a full-time job. So does that inhibit me from doing anything? No. So when these people, I'm at shows, or whether they call me on, text me or message me or whatever, and they ask, what about this? What about that? Hey, give me some more information and let's see, anything's possible. And I told her, find something you like. Like, what else do you do besides wrestle and surf? What other trained skill or thing you would like to do? Like when you were a little kid, what did you say? Boys say, I want to be a fireman. Girls say, I want to be a model. I want to be a nurse. What were your aspirations when you were a kid? Go back to thinking about what were those things that you thought you were going to do. Like me. And when I was in high school, in your yearbook, they have the thing where it says, what do you want to do after high school? I said, I want to be on TV and I want to travel the world. And guess what? I was on TV with Glow, and I worked for United Airlines, and I traveled the world. I did exactly what I wanted to do. Those were the two things as far as careers. That's what I did. I've done all kind of other kind of stuff. Thought this is what I would like to do. Never did I ever think it was going to be wrestling on TV, but oh well, that's where it led. I mean, I was working in Hollywood to pursue that. I wanted to be on TV. It just happened that when I went to this audition, they just said it was an open call audition. And if you were athletic, it would be a plus. Then I get there and they say, welcome, you're all here for a women's wrestling TV series. Third of the girls up and leave, and then it's the rest of us. And out of the 1,000, they pick 2 girls, and it's me in Hollywood. So, whatever, it's meant to be. And, I'm really a believer in that, things don't happen by coincidence, but,
nope.
God puts us in each other's paths for whatever reason. And, it's what was meant to be. I was an entertainer from the age of 5. It's just, I didn't know where it was going to take me, but my parents put me into sports, and my mom made sure I wasn't just a tomboy, but I was a dancer, an actress, a model, a beauty queen, and it all worked out okay. Here we are 38 years later, still talking about it,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
and we appreciate you. We appreciate all the legends of wrestling that still want to keep doing it, want to keep meeting the fans, talking to the fans. I don't know if you remember, or if I told you, the week before I spoke to you, I spoke to Baby Doll, Nicola Roberts, Jake Roberts'
yes, I think
sister-in-law.
Yeah, you did tell me.
Yeah. So, and she's still doing it. She's still doing this. She's still meeting fans also. She's still meeting with the 4 horsemen. So I love, we the fans, us the fans, we thank you. We the fans appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure, and I love doing it, and that's why I continue to do it. because because I meet the fans and I see that it's, you know, that's the reward, is being able to hear somebody tell you, thank you for, you know, I appreciate you, you know, doing what you do, and I'm so excited to have met you. And you know that how is that? I mean, how many people can say that in the course of your day you can make somebody's day, right? I mean, it's an easy thing for me to do. It's very natural. I don't have to do anything to go out of my way, but what it is that we did, we brought glow to the world. And you know, the fans, we have just thousands and thousands of fans around the world that are dedicated fans. And you know, for those of us that are still, you know, still carrying on with the Glow brand, are, you know, excited to do it. And we meet lots of great people and who have become, you know, friends and family, and now become, you know, part of Pineapple Nation. And I have my kid fans are Pineapple Heads. And you know, so it's really, you know, it's really a big, not always happy family, but you know, it's something unique to be a part of. And you know, our sisterhood, you know, we call us our Glow sisters. And so it's a neat thing to have been a part of, you know, for sure. That's, you know, everybody says, oh, but that's so neat. And I said, yeah, my claim to fame, but it was fun along the way. And unfortunately, you know, I had my injuries and all that, but it still is something that, you know, people say, well, would you do it again, knowing everything you've gone through? And I say, in a heartbeat. You know, it's something I would do, because look, I get to sit on here with you and talk story about Glow from 38 years ago. Who would have ever thought, right? So yeah, so I'll do it until I can't do it anymore, or until they stop asking me to come, right? Or get on calls.
And I don't think anybody will ever stop.
And podcasts.
I don't think anybody will ever stop asking. I don't think anybody will stop.
I'll be doing it for
stories. You know, and it's cool to be able to call you. I consider you a friend.
Well,
now.
And that's the one reason why I want to do. Yeah, of course.
So I thank you. I thank you so much for I thank you so much for being on here.
Oh, you're welcome.
You know,
no
it just kind of
just
sucks that we were
the
frozen.
The freezing part. Well, then you know what we need to do is one day we'll just have to do a live interview in person.
Yes, that'll be awesome. The day that you come down, if you do come to Texas, because thank God at least you have family over here. Whenever you do come, you know, it'll be cool to meet you in person. You know, my wife was a fan. My wife was a fan growing up as well.
Yeah, so your wife, yes.
You know, so she. You know, she loved the first interview.
I did a Wonder Woman convention. Yeah.
What was that?
That's cool. That's really cool. No, I did a women's conference yesterday, a Wonder Woman conference yesterday with one of my fans. Her name's Patricia Mejia, and she was actually, her and her sisters and her mom and their whole family. It was like about a dozen of them came to a show that I did an appearance and a meet and greet at, and they were just blown away. They announced my name. They turned around and they looked at my table and my setup and everything. They went crazy, and they all came over, were buying merch and trying to get what they could get, sign autographs, take pictures. And so we are friends today. So she invited me to this women's conference, women's empowerment convention or conference yesterday. And we're actually friends. She came to my birthday celebration just last month, and come to find out we are, friends through, we have mutual friends. Like her best friend was my neighbor growing up from the 4th grade.
Wow.
And so it's not just a Glow connection anymore, but so now we actually evolved into we're friends, you know. So you just never know. It's just a small world, and just when you meet the people who actually watched us and we don't even know it. You know, and she's like, oh my God, my sisters and I, we used to watch, and the mom was there telling me, oh, my girls loved you guys on Glow, and da 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 da. So there's great stories, you know. It's all, you know, part of why I want to do the second documentary, because I do want to include and tell the story from beginning to end and where we're at today. Almost 40. So our 40th anniversary will be in 2 years. 40th. Yeah.
Wow.
So kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I think
wow.
that I'm that old. So yeah. So anyway, so check out, have them check out my Instagram and Facebook, and I always post, where I'm going to be now that I'm back to doing appearances again. So I'll list them on both my pages and put them on the stories, and I try to go live and let them check out my workout and stuff like that. And I'm trying to get my walking group back together, but it's been a challenge because the walking is harder for me than riding the bike. So that's the only reason why I haven't gone back into it so much, but we'll see. Hoping to get there soon. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah. We will. Thank you so much again for taking the time again to speaking with me. I love it. I'm hoping to having you. Hoping to to have part 3.
Oh yeah. Yes. See you. Okay. Anytime. No problem. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Everybody have a great rest of your week, and check out my events, and we'll see you soon. Did you freeze?